Welcome back, true believers and all you spectacular Spidey fans, to a very interesting and pretty darn important Spider-Man related video pertaining to the realm of video games. However, we are not talking about the current installments within Spider-Man's gaming legacy, with that of Spider-Man PS4, Miles Morales, or the very exciting Marvel's Spider-Man 2, but instead we are taking a little bit of a jump back in time before Insomniac even was a fathomable possibility to create a Spider-Man game, and instead we're looking at the previous developers and publishers of Spider-Man games from yesteryear. In this case, as you see from the thumbnail and title, how I believe we were straight up robbed by Activision, the main publishers of the Spider-Man games that we have known from the past installments, but mainly from the developer themselves of Beanox, who you may know from the Amazing Spider-Man movie tie-in games, but more specifically, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and Spider-Man Edge of Time, where we may have actually received remasters of both of these games. Now, before we dive into this actual crazy news, if you're wondering why it's so dark behind me and why the screen might be a little bit misplaced, is that I've been having some very bad laptop problems lately. As you can see from this picture on screen right now, that is the current state of the laptop I am currently using. The screen or monitor display of the laptop, for whatever reason, when I tried to open it, snapped off on the right side, and it seems like it will not be able to be fixed. I am going to try and get it fixed. It might take a while for that to happen, but damn it, this is my favorite laptop, and I really want to keep making videos using this particular platform since I'm used to it the most. However, I did try to buy a new laptop, and I did try to attempt creating a video on that particular platform, and it turned out like garbage. The computer's face cam was terrible, more terrible than this one. I know this one's already bad as is, but that one was way worse, and the audio was totally distorted, and it didn't come out right at all, which was very disappointing after having spent so much money on it. So I'm going to try and return that laptop and fix this current laptop. So if you do see any issues with this video and its quality or any other future videos, that is why, and hopefully you can still bear with me and just keep supporting these videos as much as you have been, because I would definitely appreciate the support. So by all means, leave a like and subscribe if you do enjoy this, and I would thoroughly appreciate it. But yes, you read that title correctly, is that I do thoroughly believe that we were straight up robbed of receiving potential remasters of both Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and Spider-Man Edge of Time. Now, if you are a longtime fan of my channel in particular, from watching my Radioactive Replay series, which was awesome, super nostalgic, especially since that was building up towards the release of Spider-Man PS4 from 2017 to 2018, which is when that series started and finished. Now, we see both of these games that I personally have very differentiating viewpoints on, at least for Edge of Time, is that I personally think that Shattered Dimensions is in my top 5 favorite Spider-Man games of all time. It is a straight-up masterpiece, good old beat-em-up brawler, but with 4 separate Spider-Men, with the amazing art styles of all the respective worlds, 4 different voice actors, tons of classic Spidey foes, great combat, amazing soundtrack, and it was just a great time, especially for when it released in 2010. I think the art style still holds up to this day. And then we have Edge of Time, which you know, if you know me, you know that Edge of Time is my least favorite Spider-Man game of all time. I hate it more than The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I hate it more than Friend or Foe, because that game is a masterpiece, and just as a game itself, I think it is a major step back when comparing it to Shattered Dimensions. However, I have said on record that I do think the story itself is relatively good, but I think that could have been interpreted into like an animated movie more than what this game was, because the game of Edge of Time did a lot of missteps and backtracking from what Shattered Dimensions did to create a very fun and fleshed out gameplay format that worked really well for that game and not so great for Edge of Time. But I would still fully pay $60 worth, or even $70 nowadays, full price for remasters of both these games, simply to play them on current gen, or if you want to call it last gen consoles of the PS4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. That's what we're going to dive into here with this article from CBR.com, stating that planned Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and Edge of Time remasters were scrapped. Activision's Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and Edge of Time games were reportedly very close to receiving modern remasters. Pain ensues, true believers. Absolute pain. According to an anonymous source at Activision via Reddit user Armored Advanced, both Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and Spider-Man Edge of Time were reportedly set to be remastered on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. While the publisher's Marvel license expired in 2014, several years later, Activision attempted to regain Marvel's interest with a deal that would see digital versions of some of the publisher's older titles relisted, such as Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2. Marvel was initially on board, according to the source, with Activision going so far as to begin early prototyping, quote-unquote, on Shattered Dimensions and Edge of Time remasters. Yet, the deal ultimately fell through when Activision pushed for the rights to develop new Marvel games, and so no deal was ever officially signed. And of course, knowing our dear old friends at Activision trying to make a quick buck, the aim of the remasters was reportedly nothing substantial, however, with the source saying the games would be close to their original 2010 and 2011 versions, featuring only, quote-unquote, minor graphical enhancements / bug fixes. In fact, the source even described the projects as a quote-unquote quick moneymaker that was intended to leech off the hype surrounding Insomniac's then upcoming Spider-Man title for the PlayStation 4. And even if that was the case, I absolutely do not care. Do you know how much money I would spend to not only receive, mind you, a Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and Edge of Time remaster for current gen, I'll still say, consoles of the PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, but if Activision was also planning to keep giving us remasters of some of their older properties, like what we also saw with the Ultimate Alliance games, and clearly what we were going to see with Shattered Dimensions and Edge of Time, that meant that, by all means, we may have also ended up receiving a remaster of some of my favorite Spider-Man games from Activision, of Ultimate Spider-Man, and the masterpiece that is Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Disgusting. Absolutely despicable. I am in tears. I am so sad that I can't even speak. Can't even speak. That's how freaking bamboozled I am by this. Just, how could they not do this? I am shocked. Not only would this be great for old fans of the games if you played them at launch, which I personally did as a massive gaming fan, and as a Spider-Man fan playing all these games at launch, 2005 when Ultimate Spider-Man released, 2008 Web of Shadows, 2010 Shattered Dimensions, 2011 Edge of Time, and of course the other movie tie-in games with The Amazing Spider-Man and the Raimi movie tie-in games. All of those games from Activision are some of my favorite Spider-Man games, minus Edge of Time. But not only would this be great to have older players like myself, and I'm sure some of you out there, to play them again for modern consoles, but also it'd be a great way for newer gamers and newer audience members of Spider-Man who may have not been able to play those older games to experience it on a current generation platform. In a way, since they say it wasn't going to be as graphically detailed as you would expect for a remaster, it sounds similar to the Biohazard bundle from the Prototype games, where that was a straight-up port. That was not a remaster or anything of the sort with that game. Activision was so lazy, they literally just ported Prototype 1 and 2 from the 360 and the PS3 onto the PS4 and the Xbox One. And even then, like a sucker, I still bought it because I love those games. I love Prototype 1 and 2, and I easily bought them on the PS4 to play it again on a modern platform. And I would have easily done the same thing if we got that for Shattered Dimensions. I'm still shocked that this didn't happen. And if those did well, both the Edge of Time and Shattered Dimensions remaster, if those did well, you know we would have also received Web of Shadows and Ultimate Spider-Man, and likely all the other Activision-made Spider-Man games from the past. It's crazy. I just thought I wanted to put this out there so you guys were aware of the craziness that this is. And again, let me know all your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. Are you depressed like me that we did not receive any remasters for Edge of Time or Shattered Dimensions? Which game do you like better? Sometimes I do see a bit of a discourse online from people stating that Edge of Time is the better game versus Shattered Dimensions. They're wrong, but they can think that. I'm kidding. But Shattered Dimensions is a great game, and I'm so mad that we at least didn't get at least one of these games from Activision to be remastered fully from, not even from the ground up, just polished a little bit to run slightly better on the current generation platforms of the PS4 and Xbox One that we have now. And of course, if you own a next-gen console, they would have been backwards compatible, so a double win that we did not receive. Absolutely upset. I'm heartbroken, but the memories that those games gave me as a kid, playing them for the first time, and still, to this day, I go back and watch, like, cutscenes and certain gameplay clips of it in action, still holds up to this day, at least with Shattered Dimensions, and parts of Edge of Time, but for the most part, Shattered Dimensions remains, in my eyes, the superior game. But again, Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Again, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy. I'll try and get my laptop fixed if I can as soon as possible so I can provide more videos for all you guys to enjoy. But until next time, true believers, stay spectacular, Spidey fans, and peace out.